Hey, Ecom Masters, welcome to the show. My name is Mike Weiss, Chief Community Officer at Dropified, and as a thank you for tuning in to the e-commerce mastery show, we've put together a special podcast-only e-commerce training just for you. Now, in it, you're going to learn the ins and outs of how to set up your own brand of products where you can literally put your own labels, brands, logos, and messaging over top of top-selling, in-demand, high-quality, high-profit products that are exclusive to supplements, CBD, skincare, and pet products. And here's the key: no minimum order quantities, no upfront inventory costs. And I'm going to show you how to do this in literally minutes. Now, guys, we refined these principles over the course of 5 years with working with over 100,000 of our own e-compreneur customers just like you. So to get immediate 100% free access, all you got to do is go to dropified.com/podcast-special, or you can just click the link below and you're going to learn exactly how we do this in just minutes. Thank you so much for being part of the Dropified family and enjoy the show.
Joseph, I am so excited that you decided to come on the show today. It's an absolute pleasure getting to speak with you. I know you've done some incredible things thus far in your career, and shall we say, the sky is definitely not the limit for the future. Just to kind of give a little bit of context in your background, you're currently attempting 6 world records, founded and sold 3 companies, currently bring your clients back an average of 100 million a year, and you also manage one of the top 10 most visited media outlets for entrepreneurs. So I'm so excited that you are coming on the show today to talk about how to slay Black Friday as an entrepreneur. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely, Ben. It's an absolute pleasure. I mean, when you ended up wanting me to be able to come on here to be able to share Black Friday strategies, I couldn't wait, because when it comes to Black Friday, the thing is every single company tends to follow in the same line as everybody else. Basically, get all this stuff ready to go and figure out like all your different inventory ready to be able to sell for Black Friday, and then go, hey, this weekend, Friday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, those 4 days are our hot selling days. But the thing is, because everybody thinks the same way, you have to think outside the box. And that's why I couldn't wait to be able to share the strategies when you ended up messaging me.
Amazing. So let's talk a little bit about your story, give some context to the people of where you've been and where you are now. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that. Then we'll hop right in. Love to hear your story.
Well, my story, I guess, starts when I was a lot younger, as everybody's does. I ended up getting into doing MySpace templates for people, hand coding MySpace templates, like for $25-50 a pop, because I came from a family that was on state aid and like ended up growing up with government benefits, because my parents ended up splitting and we just didn't have a lot of money. So I used to help out by doing that. And that then turned into me doing small websites for people. And then eventually I started building out software tools. And it just kind of progressed in that manner. And then all of a sudden I started being able to do entire marketing campaigns for people. And I was like, all right, this is kind of interesting. And I got to see how tech and marketing play together. And I got a really data-driven background in terms of like how I learned to be able to do marketing. So I don't look at it from an emotional standpoint of like, oh, this is going to look really good. And I don't think like that. I go, I have a general idea that this has worked, this has worked, this has worked. All right, based on the data, now let's tweak this and split test this. And I'll run like dozens of split tests all at the same time. Whereas like maybe the average person might only end up doing like 1 or 2. We'll have it to where we just use text. So we'll have it to where we use something called a link splitter, where it literally sends all the traffic to one link, and then it splits that traffic into a bunch of different pages, however many that we want to be able to send them to be able to test which one's going to convert better. So we can test dozens of ideas really quickly. And that's kind of been my entire background. Is I've always been super deep into data, always figuring out, okay, what actually makes people tick? And what's crazy is that when you're managing smaller money, the thing is that you don't really see these trends. But once you start to manage bigger and bigger amounts of spend, you start to be able to see something that's really unique. And it's kind of the human factor. You start to be able to actually see people's buying behavior across not just one brand, but all of the brands. And you start to be able to see the dips and the valleys and everything else like that in between. And when you look at it from a data-driven approach, you would be wowed by the things that you start to be able to see, and you start to be able to realize people aren't really that spontaneous. They are fairly predictable. And then you can start to build like marketing strategies around that and start to be able to capitalize.
That's amazing. So we're basically understanding human behavior and using technology to serve that behavior and to do things better than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say that I'm better than anybody else. I just look at it from a data-driven perspective. So the thing is that when I look at the data, and then especially when I'm managing clients that have more money. So typically I don't succeed very well with like earlier stage startups, because the thing is that I need data. I need data to be able to make decisions. That's just how I've learned. That's how I've kind of grown up and how I've managed money. But the thing is that once you start to be able to look at the data, you're going to be able to see some pretty distinct trends. Like for instance, in an entire month scale, right? So if we have 30 days worth of data, actually, let's do 90 days worth of data. Over the 3 months, you're going to end up seeing that there's very specific days of the month that you see a giant sales increase. And you're just like, why is that? Well, those 2 weeks or whatever terms that they are tend to actually end up being the days that people typically get paid. And you also end up seeing another thing. When you look at that data, and let's say that we're talking about, we're looking at about $50 million worth of sales, right? When you're looking at that much in sales and you're looking at over a 90-day period, if you were to map the weather over the actual sales data, you'll actually see a trend. And the thing is that when you're looking at one business, you might not see that. But when you're looking at multiple businesses selling to the people in that area, all of a sudden you start to be able to go, wow, when there's this is happening in the sales data. And you start to be able to realize that everything plays a part. So for instance, we just ended up going through COVID, where I think some states are really still going through it. And then you also have on the flip side, you had the riots and you had the other news stuff that ended up coming on. And whenever there's a major news story, believe it or not, it actually makes a dent in the sales when it ends up coming into larger businesses, not smaller businesses, but larger businesses. Because the thing is that, let's say that a business is like typically trending to do, I don't know, let's say $1 million a day. When there's a major news story, for instance, like there's riots or something else like that, self-defense equipment goes through the roof, and expending on other things that maybe don't matter as much, like fashion and other things, plummets. So you want to be able to actually look at the data and be able to map it to real world factors. And then you also want to be able to understand that human psychology is very predictable. When people get paid, when their favorite TV show, let's say a new TV show ends up coming out, right? And let's say it's Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones took over everything. Everybody was crazy about it. Believe it or not, you know that that time segment at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. on Sunday is actually going to have a sales dip because of it. And you see that at the larger numbers, but you don't necessarily see it when you're working with startups.
That's brilliant. So you're gaining more context and insight based on the data in almost a holistic, let's actually understand human beings perspective more than at 6:52, this goes down, and we know it goes down, but there's no context to it. That's brilliant.
And that's the beauty about data. When you have larger data sets, you're able to be able to do that. So when you're dealing with smaller like ad budgets, it's really hard to be able to get a lot of context. So the thing is that I always recommend, if you're going to be able to smart with a smaller budget, just try to be able to like break even as much as you can until you can get to a significant amount of sales. If you're getting to the point where you're doing about $100,000 a month in sales at that point and you're still breaking even, I know that sounds terrible. But the thing is that if you can make sure that your product costs, your transaction fees, and everything else like that are covered under that in any room for returns, and you're at $100,000 in sales, then everything else is basically a clear sky. You can be able to start to be able to scale your business incredibly quick just based on the data. You can be able to go, okay, well, we know what exactly who our buyer is because you can poll them. Because you can be able to go, okay, well, you're male, female, what age demographic, what do you like? You can actually go to their Facebook pages, for instance, of the people that have been buying from you. And if you go to their Facebook page and you look at the URL, this is something that everybody should write down. You can type in /likes, and it'll actually show all of their likes that they have ever liked on any of the pages. So then what you can do is that you can take a script, and this is me being a data guy, because again, if you're having somebody manually do this, it's going to take forever. But if you're doing it from a data-driven perspective, you can have it to where you just create a basic script that goes to all these different people's profiles, averages what they like, and all of a sudden, out of, let's say, 10,000 people, you're going to end up identifying that 6,000 of them are super into music, for instance, and a specific artist. So then from there, you can be able to go, okay, well, let's target everybody who likes this artist, or let's have it to where we target everybody who likes, I don't know, watching, I don't know, Snoop Dogg videos, right? You'll be able to see that from the video, from the actual data. And then from there, you can start to be able to extrapolate and be able to get a really good idea about who your customer avatar is. And even if you're breaking even all the way up until that point where you have that many data points, from there on out, it's almost impossible to fail, because you're just going to scale exponentially even faster because you have that data as a foundation.
That's incredible. So let's take some of this, the essence that we're talking about, and let's shine it on to Black Friday and how to actually take advantage of this magical retail day that is just wonderful for us as retailers, as e-commerce entrepreneurs, as business owners in general. How do we take advantage of it? What's the way to do it the right way?
Absolutely. So basically, the right way to be able to take advantage of Black Friday is to know that, well, this happens every single year. That's the first thing that you need to know. And you're probably like, well, that's common sense. But the thing is that if you have a consumer, they're not just a number. They're actually a story. They're a guy, a girl, whatever it is. They have dreams, they have hopes, they have all these different things, right? But the thing is, the average consumer will save up weeks to months in advance just for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, because they have been conditioned by every single different outlet to be able to save up for money in order to be able to get those presents for Christmas or for themselves. So the thing is that people have gotten into that kind of coupon mentality. And if you've ever tried to be able to advertise anything and you've tried to be able to get new customers to your business by giving them a coupon, the thing is you create coupon mentality. They won't buy from you again, or they will be less likely to buy from you again if you give them a coupon the first time. Or if you're in your abandonment sequences, right, you'll end up having it to where, oh yeah, here's a coupon to be able to come back. Terrible idea, because the thing is it builds coupon mentality. So I'm going to go over two different sections to that answer in order to be able to really help people. The first one is the 5 top psychological reasons why people abandon at point of checkout. So this is what we've been able to see from the data. The first one, believe it or not, is time. So the average person browsing on the internet or whatever they're doing isn't browsing for hours on end. They might do it accumulated over the term of whatever they're doing. But the thing is that in a single session, it's significantly lower than what you might think. So you can look up different specifics from different universities, but the average is underneath 15 minutes of screen time in a single session. So that could mean at minute 11, they end up seeing your website, and then all of a sudden their kid or their dog or something else interrupts them, or their boss is coming by seeing that they're on their phone, and they have to be able to exit and go do something else, or they have to click off of it really quick, right? So what we do for those people is that we retarget them. In my industry, we have it to where we will retarget them either with an ad, or we will retarget them with a video, an email that ends up saying, hey, did life get in the way? ? We saved your cart for you! ! By having it to where in the email subject title you have a question, brains will subconsciously automatically be able to answer that. So the thing is, they're already starting to be able to engage with it prior to even actually clicking on the actual email. Furthermore, the next thing that ends up happening, okay, out of the 5 psychological reasons is, well, you have time, which is the number 1 reason. Then you have value. They don't know whether or not, especially if this is the first time that they've seen your brand, that you are a valuable brand. If you're a no-name brand, it's actually more likely that they will see your Facebook ad, Google ad, whatever it is, and then type in your brand name into Google and go scam, reviews, discounts, coupons, or something else, right? So if any of you are listening right now, the biggest thing I can say to you is, if you have a brand, right now, drop whatever you are doing, pause this, and go over to go buy your domain scam, scams, review, reviews, discount, and discounts. Because if you can do that, guess what? There's about a 5 to 7% of basically demographic of people, which is a lot of people that will go and look for coupons or reviews about your business. And if you don't do it, well, guess what? Your competitors might, and they might use it to redirect back to their brand. So what's sexy about that is that you can go on all of those different coupon sites, Retail Me Not, I don't know what the other ones are. There's a bunch of them. But like Retail Me Not, you can even create a Groupon for all I care. And you can have it to where you put a 5% discount code in there so that way, or free shipping. So that way people feel validated that their search has rewarded them with an extra 5% off. And you close that sale versus losing it. So the thing is that value, you can be able to create that into the value stack without ever actually doing anything advertising or anything else like that in your own site or in your own retargeting. So that's something that I would highly recommend doing, right? Another thing I would recommend is when you have the reviews domain. So like, let's say we're talking about josephreviews.com, right? So if they're trying to be able to find out more about me, well, the thing is that you would end up having it to where you have your brand name reviews, and then I would have an entire page that is just a landing page of a bunch of different reviews of people who have worked with me. And it's not going to be all positive. It's going to have it to where there's some negative that are mixed in there. Obviously, you're going to want to mix it in later in there because the average person will pretty much only end up clicking 2 or 3, and they're going to get their assumption. And then at the very bottom, you want to go, still thinking about working with us? If let's say you're a coach or something else like that, but if it's for ecom, still thinking about buying from us, click this link below in order to be able to get a discount or something else like that, right? Because they're trying to be able to figure out that you have value. Or better than a discount, and this is something that absolutely should be written down for everybody, is a free add-on. Don't give them a coupon code to be able to get a discount on something that's already priced. Have it to where you give them a free add-on and they don't know what the price is. So a perfect example of this, and I always go back to this example because it's the easiest to understand, and I don't have a shoe near me right now, but is shoelaces. So everybody is like, well, shoelaces, we always see them for like anywhere from like $6 to $12. We don't really know what the price of shoelaces really is, but we know it's about maybe $10, right? That's what most people would say. How much do you think shoelaces are if you were to buy an extra pair? And they'd be like, oh, $10, $8 maybe. So the thing is that if you saw a $50 pair of shoes, right? And you ended up getting retargeted with an email that said, hey, express yourself. You can get these 3 pairs of laces if you end up having it to where you buy now. And it's like pink, lime green, and let's say blue, right? The 3 primary colors that everybody likes. They're not primary colors, but they're primary, different definition of the word, colors that everybody likes. So pink, lime green, and blue, like totally exotic colors. People would end up going, oh shit, they're giving us $30 worth of free stuff on top of the $50 shoes. So they're going, that's a really great value, not a really great discount. So instead, it actually positions your brand in a different way in their mindset to where they actually will end up converting a lot better. So when you have that shoe, it's now gone from a perceived $50 exchange for a $50 item to a $50 exchange for an $80 basically package value. So super, super valuable. And it also allows the consumer to be able to customize it to what they want versus what you're trying to sell them, which is also another big conversion increase, which we would take forever to talk about that tangent. But that is an example of value. So we retarget them with value. So that's number 2. That's number 1. That's number 2 reason why people abandon. But it's the number 1 in relation to your actual product or offering. Number 3 is money. So this is what I was talking about when you have $100,000 or more worth of sales and you look at a 90 days view window worth of data. You'll end up seeing that specific days of the month, you'll end up seeing an increase in your actual sales. And you're probably going, I wonder why that is. Right? Like 2 weeks ago, we were doing just fine. Or a week ago, we were just doing just fine. And that's why you never look at small time windows. You look at small time windows when testing interests and stuff like that. But when you're looking at a pattern for stability, you're going to want to be able to look at larger time ranges. So people are getting paid on specific days, which means that you can run campaigns on specific days as well. And that's where it allows for you to be able to take advantage of people that are getting paid on a Monday or a Wednesday. And you can see this buying behavior in mass. So this is where we will end up going, okay, if we've mailed them about time, or we've retargeted them for the time issue, saying, hey, did you life get in the way? We saved your cart for you. The second one ends up being, okay, here's a free add-on, whatever it is. If it's shoes, it might be free laces. If it's protein powder, it might be a free sample of, or a free smaller like size of like pre-workout or post-workout, or just something to add on to it. Whatever it may be, right? And now we want to be able to get to value because they might be pinching pennies before their next paycheck. This is the only time that I have used discounts, and I will only have it to where it is a one-use discount. And if that person ever comes back to the website, it will skip this and try to offer an additional item of value. So write that down. The first time that they come through this abandonment sequence, or whatever it may be, the first time it's okay to give them a discount code. The second time, just give them another add-on. So not only are they getting the original product plus the add-on, also a discount on top of it. So it might end up saying, oh, 20% off plus the laces. So now it went from being a $50 for $80 exchange for a $40 to $80 exchange, which most people psychologically will go, holy shit, that's a $50, that's a 50% off value. So as a result, they're going to end up converting, and that's going to allow for you to be able to get more sales for the exact same amount of spend. Then number 4 is where we end up going into something that everybody faces. Doesn't matter whether or not you're Apple or you're a small guy, and that is trust. So this is really interesting. You might think that Apple is a brand that no matter what, everybody is going to trust it. Well, the thing is, they have a track record which increases trust, but the one thing that they do not have is they end up having it to where they've started to cut corners and everybody now knows it. And as a result, when somebody ended up getting one of their new phones and sitting on it, it ended up bending. You guys remember that? So when you remember, when people end up having it to where they end up sitting on their phones and it ended up bending, you ended up with a result, which was everybody was like, oh, whoa, Apple isn't as quality anymore because they didn't end up catching that before people ended up using it. And then that ended up causing people to hesitate to buy. Or if you're a brand new brand and nobody knows who you are and you don't have a track record, they might go, are they even going to deliver the product? Because there's been a rise of drop shippers that will build stores and not actually send the product. So that's created a bad name in the space. So what you want to do then is that you want to be able to combat that. Also, if you're a normal brand that already has it to where, let's say that you have a bunch of like customer unboxing videos and stuff like that to build trust or community, the thing is that you want to be able to then go, okay, how can I be able to allow for this person to gain trust with my brand or my product without having to buy it? So this is where it gets interesting. If I was a shoe company again, the thing is that this is exactly one of the clients that we work with. They're fairly like not expensive shoe, but they're in the range of like Nikes and stuff. And they have a really comfortable custom sole that they make for all of their shoes. So your sole ends up being really soft. It helps with a bunch of things and it just allows for you to be able to do whatever, right? Well, instead of trying to sell everybody this shoe to show that we're better, we just had it to where we did free plus shipping on the actual sole to put in their existing pair of shoes. So that way they're like, wow, these are really great. So the next time that they go buy a competitor, a Nike or an Adidas or whatever it might be, the thing is they're going to be spending the same amount without that comfort. And the thing is, the number one thing that most men will tell you is that they don't buy because it looks good. They buy because it's comfortable. Guys like to be comfortable. Like, let's be honest, like you buy for comfort first and then you buy for like design second. That's why we get in trouble with all the girls sometimes, especially if we've been in relationships for a long time. So the thing is that after we end up going past this point, right? So now we've figured out different vehicles to be able to build trust, like a free plus shipping with the soles or giving them a sampler kit. So if I'm a protein powder company that's drop shipping, let's say my own protein powders, well, I can be able to create a smaller sampler size and I can be able to ship it out to them. That allows for them to be able to try the product. Or for many protein powder or supplement companies, let's say a CBD company or anything else along those lines, you can have it to where you create a flight, which is basically a bunch of small samples that are all maybe in a little stack that have different flavors and whatever, and people will buy that. So instead of having it to where they buy, like, let's say $300 worth of goods, they might buy a flight to be able to try all your flavors, to be able to figure out what good that they like before they buy it. And you can actually see this in action with Warby Parker. Because the thing is that everybody, when they were trying to be able to get their glasses, the thing is they were like, I don't know how this is going to look on me, whatever. So they actually send you a couple of pairs and then you pick out the one that you like. And then they end up letting you either A, keep it, or having it to where they'll end up sending the version back. But you get to actually try that before you buy it. And the thing is that that's where e-com starts to be able to bridge over to the experience of retail, where retail you can do that, but e-com you can't. But why can't you? So that's trust. So if you can be able to do that with your brand, oh wow, your sales are going to rapidly increase because you're going to build a massive amount of trust with your actual following, because they're going to feel secure in knowing that their money, and when they exchange it, their hard-earned money, which they're exchanging their life physically, time for money, And they're spending that money with you to achieve a potential future that they want, not a product, not a service. They are buying the protein powder because they want to be able to get fit. They are buying the shoes because they want to be more comfortable and they want to be able to not maybe have a pain or back pain or something else along those lines. They're buying the CBD product because they want to be able to feel better in some way. So they're exchanging money now for a future result. And if they can trust you to deliver on that future result with your flight or your samples or whatever it may be, or if you're doing an info product, let's say I'm a coach, if I have a video course selling Facebook ads, then what I would do is I would go, hey, if you still haven't figured out if you want to buy yet, here's 3 free lessons to be able to check out what's in this entire thing. Do you think the person after seeing those 3 lessons is going to go, oh crap, there's a lot of value in this and I absolutely need to get it? Absolutely. So the thing is, that is how you build the trust factor. So that's number 4 why people abandon.
Hi there, Ecom Masters. Mike Weiss here again with a friendly reminder that you've unlocked access to our exclusive podcast-only training on how to create your own supplement, CBD, pet, or skincare brand in just minutes, where we're going to break down from A to Z exactly how to put your own design on top-selling products and start selling in just minutes. It's incredible. Now, the principles that you're going to learn are exactly the same principles that we've used with our customers who did over $2 billion. That's right, with a B, $2 billion in sales last year alone. You cannot afford not to take me up on this free training. So to get immediate 100% complimentary access, all you got to do is go to dropified.com/podcast-special, or you can just click the link below in the show notes. I will see you soon.
Now, the 5th one, I touched on this a little bit with Apple, but it's community. The thing is, nobody wants to be first because they don't know the brand. If they don't know the brand, if they don't trust it, they don't want to be first. So the thing is that if you can show community of other people have paid that money to be able to get that result, other people will follow. That's how you go viral. The thing is that the community effect is what creates virality. So the thing is, it's very predictable to be able to understand that. And the reason why I'm going over these top 5 psychological reasons is because it's going to bleed into our Black Friday strategy. So community can be a bunch of things. We can have it to where we ask customers to do unboxing videos, to be able to send in photos or videos or whatever it is. And we can do collages on the actual sales page, which will drastically increase sales. So for all of you that are drop shipping, literally mail your customers and say, hey, send in a video or send in an image and we'll give you a $50 or $100 store credit to be able to buy with us. We already know that you guys mark it up like 500% when you're drop shipping. So the thing is, that $100 card is maybe going to only end up costing you about 20 bucks. So the thing is that 20 bucks for that video, you put that underneath, that user generated content underneath that sales button, guess what? Everybody's going to go, oh, all these people are smiling in their photos and their videos and stuff, and they love it, and they're speaking and raving about it. Your conversion rate is going to skyrocket. It's going to absolutely skyrocket. But here's what community is in the abandonment sequence. So you want to be able to have it to where you end up going and figuring out how can you be able to show community in the abandonment sequence while also showing trust and value in other things. Well, if at this point you have retargeted somebody for time and for value and for money, and you've given them a potential for a trial or something that they can be able to kind of build trust with your brand, and they still haven't bought, they most likely aren't going to buy. And most people kind of give up on these people at this point, but I don't. What I do is I go, okay, what is something that is universally desired, but people like, but they won't care about your brand, right? So let's say that these people by email or whatever message retargeting number 5, they don't care about your brand at all. What is something that is universally sought after that everybody wants? Well, first thing that comes to mind is travel, right? So the thing is that you can actually have it where you create a unique experience for your customers, your brand, where everybody can be able to compete to be able to have it where if they share, it counts as a vote towards a potential raffle for a travel, basically an all expenses paid, let's say some exotic location like Hawaii, or you could do Puerto Rico, or you could do Costa Rica, or just somewhere, right? You could do an all expenses paid for 2, and the hotel, the flights, everything else like that, all good to go for your brand. So let's say that I am a shoe brand, right? Well, obviously my main demographic is probably people that are fitness related. So I could either have a yoga demographic, I could have a basketball demographic, I could have football wouldn't apply, it'd be more cleats. But you could have a bunch of other different demographics, right? So let's say that we're dealing with basketball. If I'm trying to show community by being able to get these people involved, and I know that they might not care for my shoes, but they do care about basketball, and they don't care about pretty much anything else, right? But I know that they like travel. So basketball and travel, what can I do? I can fly them all expenses paid out to LA to go play basketball during lunch with some NBA player and have it to where in the hotel has all the gear from our business. And all we ask when they win is to be able to document the experience and send it to us. That gives us ammunition for ads, for conversions. And also, you're probably thinking in your head, oh, it's going to cost a lot of money. But a plane ticket almost anywhere in the United States to LA is like max $200 per person. And then the hotel is max again, even if you were to get a 5-star, unless you're going and not figuring out how to do deals, because you can just go on Hotwire Hotel and you can be able to figure out how to get a 5-star for like $90 a night. So you could literally, all things included, maybe for 2 people, be in it for like $800 plus the cost for the appearance with the celebrity, right? Which most of the basketball players are on the lower side unless they're like a mainstream celebrity. Then you're obviously talking about like 30,000. So you might be pot committed at max for 30,000. But the thing is, if you get a lower basketball player or a couple of basketball players, maybe pot committed for $6,000. But if people are sharing, okay, that contest in order to be able to enter into it, well, the average share gives you 4 to 5 new views. And if you have enough shares, well, guess what? That's going to lead to more sales. And the thing is, that's going to end up giving more exposure to your brand from people that otherwise didn't care whether or not you ended up like giving the greatest product in the world. They're now advertising your brand. So the people that were worthless that you stopped retargeting are actually now out there promoting your brand to be able to go win this trip. And you can actually be able to succeed while at the same time showing community, because it makes your brand appear larger than it is, which builds trust and builds value. So it all ends up interweaving. So Ben, to be able to go back to the actual question after explaining all that about how the Black Friday strategy ends up actually really diving deep into it, well, this is what's really fun. We know that people are creatures of habit. Humans are habitual. When you go to work, or let's say when you used to go to work, wherever you ended up working, did you take the same route every single day?
Mostly, unless there's like a traffic jam or an accident or some extenuating circumstance.
Okay. So did you ever have a favorite TV show or anything that you used to watch?
Yes.
Okay. What was it?
It was the old Scooby-Doo. It was a particular style, but Scooby-Doo.
Okay. So the old Scooby-Doo. And did you make time on that day every single week to be able to watch that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So people are habitual. When they end up finding something that they like, they repeat doing it. People that go to the gym, they go to the gym almost every single time at the exact same time every single week. It might be at 6 p.m. on a Thursday and it might be at 4 p.m. on a Friday, but guess what? Next week, they are the same time. The thing is, people are literally creatures of habit. So the thing is that when you start to be able to think about Black Friday, well, it comes every single year. So it's another habit. And advertisers and marketers that work at those companies are also creatures of habit. So they're also advertising at the same time every single year. And they're following the same pattern that worked the year before and the year before that. Because these major companies like Target and Walmart and all of these other major conglomerates, the unfortunate reality is that they move very slowly because they are a corporation. They have multiple people that have to approve on the decision. And they can't be as nimble or agile or as creative as basically a freelancer or a smaller brand or basically a consultant can be. So what's amazing about this is that this opens up a massive opportunity, but also a warning. The thing is that when Black Friday comes, everybody's saving up for that money, saving up for all those sales and everything, but that money that they have set aside, well, those are the same dollars that you're competing with. Because the thing is that even if you're a t-shirt brand, you're still competing with Starbucks on Black Friday, because if they offer a $100 gift card for Starbucks for only $20, you're most likely going to lose that battle, unfortunately, if you end up having your Black Friday offer come out at the exact same time as theirs. If Target says that, hey, you can get a 65-inch TV for $100, you're probably going to lose again. So the thing is that even on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, even if these people are not in your direct line of competition, they are competition for Black Friday and Cyber Monday and for Christmas. You're competing for the same dollars. So the thing is, how can you make it more painful for people to choose their offer than yours? Well, the thing is that the number one thing, and I want you to write this down and circle it and whatever you got to do to take notes on this, is that the number one generic fear of all of society, no matter what country, is the fear of the unknown. The thing is, they don't know what Starbucks' Black Friday deal is going to be. They don't know what Best Buy's deal is going to be. They don't know all of this different stuff until the ads start to be able to come out for it, right? Also, when it comes to Black Friday, let's say Best Buy and Target and some of the other places, they always have a cap, a limited quantity of the number of like TVs that'll be able to go out at that price and all the other thing. So again, the fear of the unknown is even if they do find out about that Black Friday deal, they don't know if they're going to be able to get in line fast enough to be able to get it. And some people don't want to wait overnight in order to be able to get that deal, or they can't because they have obligations and jobs and stuff like that. So we've identified there's a massive pain point in the way that Black Friday and Cyber Monday marketing goes down. So now how can we address it? Well, this is what I've taught all of my clients in order to do it. So I get basically brought into large companies in order to be able to basically come up with unique marketing strategies when it's become a little bit more stale inside of their actual corporate divisions. So what I've done for my own brands and also for anybody who's ever hired me is we look at Black Friday and we go, okay, if everybody starts marketing, let's say 3 days before Black Friday, we're going to go a week out. If it becomes a week out, we're going to go 2 weeks out. And then what I mean by this is we're going to allow for people to be able to see our Black Friday offers before they come out, but we don't know which one we're going to actually give. And this goes back to my upbringing as a data-driven approach. So most companies will have their meeting, their corporate meeting, whatever it is, and sit down and go, these are the 7 items that we're going to do for Black Friday. That's not okay. Because the thing is that what the company thinks is okay versus what people want are 2 totally different things. So why don't we just let people tell us what they want, right? I mean, if we're trying to get them to buy, why not just say, what do you want? Like, what kind of deal do you want? So that's what I did, is I had it to where I would email out, and this is the exact strategy for Black Friday that has crushed it for the last 2 years with ridiculous results. Like I have testimonials from people who heard me talk about this last year that made over 100 grand literally drop shipping by using this strategy in just a short window. And I have a testimonial that I can link to if you guys don't believe me. And he's a very well-known person and he runs one of the larger groups on Facebook, and you guys can be able to see it and be like, oh, wow. So literally it is simple. If we have it to where we send an email out to all of our customers, and you obviously have to have something established by then. You can't just like pop up a shop and then hope to be able to get all those sales by then, but you want to email your customers to get that data. This is what I mean by having more data points. So you email your customers and you go, what do you guys want for Black Friday? And you give them a couple of different options. Let's say that you give them like 20 different deals, or that's maybe too many. Maybe you give them like 10, right, to choose from. So you give them 10 Black Friday deals to be able to choose from, and it's in an email format, and it says, choose which one that you would like to vote for Black Friday, and they click it. And you want to have it to where it's like an image, and then you have the vote button inside of the image, buy the product, and they click to vote. Well, guess what? When they click vote, 1, you get that data point, which is great. 2, takes them to the landing page where they have 15 minutes to be able to claim that offer right then and there. So guess what that means? You're now having it to where you've now put them into an urgent situation that they weren't expecting, okay? So first, that's going to be a pattern interrupt, because they're going to go, wait a minute, I thought you were going to give me that on Black Friday. Oh my gosh. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to say, if you don't claim this in 15 minutes, it's no longer going to be 50% off for that pair of shoes that you wanted. It's going to be 40% off. And then on Monday, it's going to be 35. On Tuesday, it's going to be 30. On Wednesday, it's going to be 25. On Thursday, so on and so forth. And then Black Friday, it's only going to be 10% off. So guess what you've now done? You've not only added urgency, you've also now put it into their mind that if they wait to be able to see what Starbucks or Target or Best Buy's offers are, it's going to hurt their wallet. So the thing is that they now have a physical pain point of the unknown where they know what the deal is here and they want your item, but they were like, man, I don't know if I want to be able to give the $100 to them or to Starbucks. And now they're going, oh my gosh, if I don't do this in the next 15 minutes, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to actually get that thing for that money, and I'm going to lose out. Well, guess what? They give you their money right then and there versus Starbucks, Target, any of the other major brands. And as a result, you win out. And the thing is, you might end up being a week ahead of time, or maybe 10 days ahead of time, or 14 days ahead of time. And there you go. And here's what becomes sexy. You're like, well, cool. They all voted on their Black Friday offers. We gave them what they wanted, all that other stuff. And I guess we're done. Well, here's what's also sexy about it. Because it's out typically about 10 plus days, it also gives you some time to be able to stock up your inventory, because you might have one that blows off the shelves. So then you don't have to worry about it. So that's a huge problem solver as well. But this is also something that's really unique. So you've pitched them your Black Friday offer before Black Friday. So what do you do on Black Friday? Well, any of the items that you list in your actual Black Friday, like options to be able to have them vote on, let's say your poll, I guess you could call it. Well, all of those different things, try to find a complementary product that you would want to be able to sell on the Black Friday, and then have that as your true Black Friday offer. So that way, let's say that they ended up getting, I don't know, a PlayStation, right? So they got the PlayStation. Well, on Black Friday, you're going to give them the whole game pack now for a discount. And that's going to be their Black Friday offer. So not only are you going to have it where you got money on like 2 weeks ahead of time, or maybe a week ahead of time, you also got money on Black Friday, and we're going to have another offer on Cyber Monday. So if I were doing, let's say, a fitness line, you could have it to where you end up sending them all this protein powder or whatever it may be on that specific day, 7 days in advance. And then on the actual day of Black Friday, we would do like a whole combo pack where it would be like pre-workout, post-workout, other amino supplementing acids like mass gainer, blah, 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 all this stuff. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, heck yeah. Because the thing is, then they won't feel like they're missing out, that they already ended up getting basically, you as an advertiser wouldn't feel like you're missing out because you already exhausted all your Black Friday deals. So by having it towards a complement, it's most likely to get picked up. So as a result, you're not competing with Target. You're not competing with any of the other brands that are out there, because you launched earlier and you had it to where you had your sequence down to where literally it would decrease the discount as each day passed and after that first 15 seconds. So you created a true cost of waiting to see anybody else's offers, which nobody else does. So if I'm trying to compete with everybody, why does it make sense for me to say, hey, yeah, it's okay, go down the street, go find all my other competitors, right? And then come back to me and compare the price. One of my vendors might be at a lower discount than me. Honestly, their Black Friday deal might be better. But if I do that strategy, who do you think wins? And that's the Black Friday strategy.
That's amazing. So when it comes to this, you're almost like surveying, and then you're putting them into this sequence. Do you ever map it to where, let's say you have 10 options, you have 10 different sequences with 10 different complementary products, to where if the person buys product A, they're going to get complement A, and complement 1 for A and complement 2 for A on Cyber Monday. And then for each survey item, you have a different sequence so that each person has their own individual personalized path? Or is it you have the 10 options and then you're giving one big offer on Black Friday and a second big offer on Cyber Monday? How are you doing that?
So we're doing the pre-Black Friday poll, okay, which is basically technically our Black Friday. That's our offer day, right? So we're doing that all to everybody. They end up clicking on which one that they want. And then that gives a tag that we put into the email database, or whatever we're using to be able to track these people, of what they wanted, right? And then we have it to where we look for that tag in all of the landing pages, and we decrease the discount based on how much time it's been since they opened, okay? And then come actual Black Friday, we still offer them another giant set of different things. But the thing is, it's typically going to be complementary of the first 10. So here's 10, these 10 complement these 10. They're not other, like these 10 are not going to be in this list. Does that make sense? This is going to be the complement of the first list.
Right. What I'm saying is, so you have 10 initial products.
Yes.
Are there 10 complementary products, or there's one product that's complementary to all those 10?
No, there's going to be 10 complementary products. So you could do 10, you could do 5, whatever it may be. It depends on how many SKUs that you have. You just want to be able to think about, okay, if they already bought this, it doesn't make sense for me to be able to show the same offer again. What is something that they have bought from me? They know, like, and trust me, because by the time that they've bought the initial thing, they probably have received it, enjoyed it, and now they're probably interested in knowing what else is out there for Black Friday. And then you hit them with a compliment. You've already built the trust. You've already built the value. There's no resistance. They already know you. So the thing is, they'll buy from you again. So the thing is, it just goes back to the 5 psychological principles, and that's why I covered it. And I know I talked for a really long time, but like, that's the psychological like brilliance about this model, is because by having you do that, especially with the 7-day window, they buy it on a Monday, or let's say that they buy it on that Friday, right before Black Friday, right? They'll get it by Monday or Tuesday, and then they'll be looking at other Black Friday offers. You hit them with another one on Black Friday or at Thursday at midnight, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, there's another one. Bam, gets hit there, and then you double dipped for that weekend, and you'll actually stretch out your Black Friday and drastically increase it, which is really, really nice. And I highly, highly recommend it. And there's so many different unique strategies that you can be able to do. I mean, that's just one of them. And if you don't have a massive list, you don't have to do that. You can also do it with ads too. So you can actually launch a cold ad to a bunch of people that are going like, hey, help us decide what we should do for Black Friday. And you can have it to where you do a video where you're like, hey guys, blah, 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 from blah, blah, blah brand here. Just trying to be able to just kind of throw a poll out there. What do you guys think that we should do? We actually build blah, 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 blah. This is what we do. This is our business. This is kind of like what we're about. But we kind of had some trouble this year trying to be able to figure out what to do for Black Friday. Well, can you guys click the link below and help us be able to vote? We'll definitely make it worth your time. They click it, unsuspecting, thinking that they're just going to vote and like help you out as a brand, for whatever reason. And as a result, they click through and bam, they get the offer that they wanted. And the thing is that puts them in the same frame of mindset and the same everything. So you can run that as an actual ad and be able to make a killing, even if you don't have a list. So it isn't as effective as somebody who's already previously purchased from you or opted in from some other form of an email capture. But the thing is, it is still something that you can do. And it's pretty great, to be honest.
That's amazing. Well, Joseph, I want to be very cognizant and respectful of your time. And I know you just basically gave us the keys to the kingdom here. And, I know that, I'm always very grateful when people like yourself share these secrets, because it's battle tested. It works. You're doing this with humongous companies. So you're really giving us a tool, a very powerful tool that we can put into our toolkit that we're never going to find this somewhere else. So thank you very, very much for that. I appreciate you. If people want to go and get more involved with you, get into your ecosystem, what's the best place to go?
Honestly, the best place is probably going to be my personal Facebook page. I mean, I post live videos all the time going over different strategies that I end up finding while split testing and doing weird things. Following me on Facebook is probably going to be the easiest thing. I just barely created a TikTok, so it's definitely not something that's something I'm going to focus on too heavily. I'll run ads through it, but I don't know if I'm going to create like weird dancing videos and everything else like that. Yeah, I'm on Instagram too. I don't necessarily post as much on there, and it's not as much value driven content. So probably Facebook is going to be the easiest to be able to get a lot more value, to be able to find more about my ecosystem, because I have a Facebook group called Bank Account Builders. And if you want to be able to join it, I share a lot of free value and stuff like that in there as well.
Amazing. Well, again, Joseph, you're the man. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Appreciate you, and to everybody who is watching and listening, thank you for sharing some of your valuable time with us. Implement this stuff. Implement. If you didn't soak everything up and you don't have like the equivalent of a photographic memory, but with your ears, which most of us don't, go back and listen to this a couple times, write down everything, implement, and you literally can change your life this Black Friday. It's coming up soon. Don't waste it. Only happens once a year. So thank you again, Joseph. You're the man. Thank you, everybody who's watching and listening. I'll see you on the next episode. Take care now.
Hello again, Ecom Masters. Mike Weiss here again with a big thank you for sticking with us to the end of this episode. I know how valuable your time is, and I want to congratulate you for setting yourself apart from the pack by investing your attention into this podcast. Now, make sure to maximize this time by taking notes while it's still fresh. listening to the episode multiple times if you need to, and implementing what you have learned right away into your own business. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more training and want to learn the step-by-step methodology that you need to build the e-com business of your dreams, I want you to join me for an exclusive invite-only training that I'm only giving specifically for podcast listeners. Now, in it, we're going to share the secrets of what we've used to scale Dropified into the 2019 5,000 number 55 fastest growing company in America. You will not find this information anywhere else, guaranteed. To get immediate 100% free access, all you got to do is go to dropified.com/podcast-special, or just click the link below and in the show notes, and I will see you on the other side.